have learned one thing about being successful in any business. It's to be impulsive.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I'm so late to the game on this. I'm so late to the game. I have not talked about Love Meg in ages. They sold the house. They basically packed up the dogs and the kids and were like, right, we're going to go to Europe. And that was basically the last that I knew. Decided to sell traveling packages, whatever he was doing. Meg was charging a ridiculous amount of money for her courses, and I was a bit skeptical, I won't lie, because not only are they wanting to basically pack up and take this leap of faith, if you were, doing like cleaning content and doing up Airbnbs, like the whole thing didn't really make a lot of sense to me. But then in the back of my head I'm like, well, it's not your dream, so whatever, she's probably gonna have a great time. And the other part of me was going, why would you go to these places? Like, I live in Europe, yeah, why would you go to these places in like the bleak of winter? It didn't really make a lot of sense to me at the time. I kind of felt like they were running away from stuff, and I don't know, it just felt like such a spur of the moment thing, and that's just my own personal opinion. Anyway, that being said, they're now back. They've now decided to come back, and they not only have come back, they've kind of crept back, because supposedly they've been back for a little while, and they've now only just released it to the public knowledge. So Meg had been sleeping on this for a little while. She uploaded it to her paid for lovemeg.video or whatever site. There was a time where I actually used to pay to watch this, but then I obviously can't afford that anymore, so decided to pack that one in. And now she's basically told everyone else on there, the news first, that they are coming back. And they've now actually put out an Instagram post, which we're going to read right now. Okay, so it said, photo dump from being back in the States. It's been a beautiful journey. We are so full of gratitude for this experience. So much health and happiness came from it, and it will always be one of the best decisions of our lives. Now, there is no better place to be while we are waiting for things to be finalised with our new house. Can't wait to still travel, but also have a home of our own again. This was just the reset we needed. New vlog coming soon. I'll be editing this evening, so you'll probably have a new video out tomorrow. Now, the house. So remember Love Meg Hickman, she had this big old house. It was like her nest egg. It was worth quite a bit of money. They basically sold it, but she loved that house. That house, she loved it. I know everyone loves their house, but she loved it. And she's also like a lifestyle and cleaning channel, so her house was basically like her brand. Her house was her thing. I know obviously she used to, she came from a trailer and she was known for making do with what she had, much more minimal. Well, she then went into this great big bougie house, and then her whole entire aesthetic changed. She had the blonde hair. I'm not saying, I'm just saying that all of a sudden her style changed, her personality changed. And some may say she started getting quite materialistic. And I will tell you, that is basically what happened. Definitely. You only have to look at the past, decorates with me's, and it went from being semi-minimal to what is going on over here. It was honestly chaotic, 7 different trees. I'm like, who needs this many? Anyway, it's not the way I would do it, but that's completely by the by. And they then decided that no, they want to be traveling nomads. She ditched the blonde hair for the brown hair. She called it European chic. She got rid of her nails. She basically toned down everything. They sold all of their possessions. No, scrap that. They didn't sell all of them. They actually put quite a lot of them away in storage, but they did definitely sell quite a lot of their stuff. I can't remember how much stuff they saved, because obviously I wasn't there. But she told us this, and then they decided to get on a plane, sell the house, and off they went. And now supposedly they've come back, and now they're having to basically start from the ground up. And I'm just thinking, wow, you did all of that for basically, sorry, my voice is going, for basically 5 months, 4 or 5 months worth of travel. And we're going to read some of the comments, some of the replies she has given in her comments back to the people on that post, because I do think that some of her replies are quite telling. And I don't know. I kind of get the feeling that she's a little bit embarrassed, and she's getting quite defensive for people in the comment section. And we all know I love a bit of defensive Meg. I love it. She gets all catty and starts arguing with people, and it just reminds me of old Meg on how she just used to argue with everyone. I mean, it was awful, but it's nostalgic. You know what I mean? So one person said, "Has it already been a year of travel?" She said, "We did 6 months. We still plan to travel, but we miss having a house." Wow, has it been that long? They left in November, so it sounds like it's been 3 to 4 months. And Meg said, "We left our house in September and we are still currently full-time travelling. Definitely not 3 to 4 months, more like 6 to 7 months. And the thing is, right, if I go back, I've got a video of when they kind of like started travelling about. Now, they basically, if I remember rightly, they sold the house and then they went and stayed. They basically stayed somewhere else, but they hadn't yet started traveling. So I don't entirely believe her. I do honestly think it was about 3 to 4 months. Now, I'm not dancing around going, "Oh my gosh, I told you so. Oh my gosh, I told you so." But the thing is that it's just absolutely madness to me how they sold their very expensive house to become digital nomads. And they honestly lasted about 4 months. And I'm not saying like, you know what, they did it. They did it. And that's really, really, really good for them. But they literally got rid of their house so that they could go traveling. And now they're turning around and going, "Oh, but we've really missed the house." It's like, it was literally like 4 months ago. It was, well, really, do you know what I mean? It was not that long ago. You sold the house to go traveling. And then you were like, "Oh, actually, no, I kind of missed that." Like, could they not have just rented it out? Would that have been a better alternative? I just don't know. I thought this whole entire thing was extremely risky at the very beginning. I then found it even stranger how they wanted to go to Europe in the bleak of winter. But it's just my own opinion. I remember her saying that she hadn't seen the sun in like 10 days. And it's so funny because I literally feel it. But I can't remember the last time I properly saw the sun. But I don't come from a really hot climate. Do you know what I mean? But all of us are used to it. But if you're not used to this kind of, you know, cold, bleak, not very sunshiny weather, it will get you down. It gets me down, and I've lived here all my life. Another commenter said, "Europe is so nice during summer. I think you were there at the wrong time. I hope you find a house soon." And Love Meg said, "We did still enjoy our time there. The weather wasn't the only factor for coming home. With that said though, we do enjoy our summertime trips to Europe best. It makes me realise the southeast of the US is paradise." Okay, right. I'm just going to backtrack this, right? I don't... Amy, stop getting annoyed. Basically, right, I remember, and I wasn't the only person, there were so many people telling her, "Okay, you've been to Europe in the summer, it's all fun and games, but during the winter, it's another thing." And they were adamant, guys. They were so adamant. Honestly, you can go and watch any of the videos, any of the comedy channels have done, where they've gotten clips of them saying that they're like, you know, experienced travelers and they'll be fine and they're all just gonna muck in and it'll be fine. They're just gonna do it. And everyone was telling her, I even was saying, I was making videos, I was saying, look, it's not for the faint-hearted, especially if you're not used to this kind of weather. It's not going to be much fun. And they were so adamant. And now they're here just being like, actually, yeah, the weather wasn't the only deciding factor. It's like, look, I don't want to say I told you so, but in this case, I really did tell you so. And they were just being so pig-headed about the whole entire thing. To sell your house. "I'll be here where it's beautiful the majority of the year, and European travel will only be during spring and summer. God really blessed us, making us southerners of the US." Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why this comment really rubs me up the wrong way, because they spent so long being like, "Oh, this place is lovely, this place is beautiful," but then to turn around and be like, "Oh, it's not actually that great in the winter." It's like, was this all a facade? Once again, listen to the people who live in these countries who are literally telling you it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. I mean, these places are beautiful. They're lovely. They're stunning. They're gorgeous. I wouldn't have a problem. I wouldn't, because I'm used to it being cold and dreary. But from what I've gathered, they're from a really like hot and sunny like place in the States. and they want to come to somewhere where you don't see light for like, you don't see the sun for like 2 weeks, and that's normal. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I just feel, I don't know. Something about these comments is really rubbing me up the wrong way. But all I'm gathering from this is that they weren't actually that happy. And all of this sort of facade of them pretending to be all happy and da-da-da-da-da, I don't actually really think they were. Like, it doesn't sound like Meg was having that much of a fun time. I mean, they quite literally bought, like, they basically, like, took their car over. They, like, literally, you know, they were going to move their whole life and, you know, travel around and stuff, and they really didn't last very long. It feels like they didn't think things through. And yeah, people make mistakes all the time. Sometimes you jump into things and you're like, that wasn't such a great idea. But they literally got rid of their whole life for like 3 months, in exchange for 3 months of being miserable in Europe. And I'm just like, what was the point here? Anyway, so at the minute, they're actually in, is it Florida, Disney? They're basically in Disney. I think they needed a bit of a reset after, well, literally, it's what she says in the caption. After you know, everything that they've been put through in their time in Europe. I mean, I did hear, obviously, that there was some, like, technical difficulties with some of the Airbnbs they were staying at and stuff. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, it doesn't surprise me. It really doesn't surprise me. I mean, they in some places, they were actually going to quite remote locations, and everyone was quite skeptical about it at first. I remember Justin was saying, you know, we want to be in the community, and we really want to do this and that, and, you know, be at one, be a part of the community. You go to those kind of places, it's going to be remote. You're going to have facilities that don't work properly. There's going to be a language barrier, you know, all of this kind of stuff that obviously a lot of us people were thinking at the very beginning. But if you're not used to that kind of thing and you can't really speak the language, it's going to be a massive issue. And who knows what they had to put up with. I heard that, you know, there wasn't any hot water in some places, and that there were issues, and I don't know. So I can understand. And now they've come back. I don't even know how long they've even been back for, to be honest. I got no clue. I don't have access to the main thingy. So have they been back for like a month? Who really knows? They haven't been posting a lot on their Instagram, so it's quite hard to tell. Either way, I can imagine they're probably feeling a little bit embarrassed. And like I've already said, do we all like make mistakes or decide to do one thing and then it's like actually regret it? Yeah, sure, of course we do. However, this was just such a big thing, and everyone was telling them, pointing out all these different things, and they just weren't listening. They were being so unbelievably stubborn. And who knows, they might admit to it that maybe it wasn't the greatest of ideas, but they won't admit to it. Maybe they probably did have a good time, but just by reading Meg's responses, it doesn't really sound like she did have the time of her life. That's literally my dog snoring. And that is all I'm going to say. But yeah, she's back. Is she going to come back onto YouTube? I don't know. I mean, I remember her making the video. I think I've just shown you a few like stills from it. Her making a video when she was actually in Europe saying that she doesn't ever want to come back to YouTube. So who knows? She might do, she might not. Time will tell. They might come crawling back. What is going on with her course? I don't even know. I've got so many questions. I've not spoken about Love Meg in, like I say, about 3 or 4 months. So who knows? Anyway, have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch up with you guys in the next video.